Hey guys, now whether you're looking for a way to overclock your graphics card or if you've not been able to find a way up to now, I'm going to show you a way of overclocking your graphics card. But also, if you already have, I'm going to show you a better way to do it. Through Power Strip, there's a trick to it. You can basically trick the software to allow you to overclock your graphics card more than it should be overclocked. Now, that could be dangerous. It depends how high you put it. The limit on Power Strip, depending on what your graphics card is, for mine is 2.5 gigs. That would be gigahertz. Now, I'm not sure with other graphics cards, perhaps the limit is higher. But I'm going to show you with my graphics card, which is the NVIDIA GeForce 7150M, which without a registry hack isn't normally overclockable in NVIDIA's Entune, which I recommend you get Entune for your NVIDIA motherboard to overclock your CPU, because more than likely it will overclock your CPU. Now, in some cases, or most cases, depending on your graphics card, it does not allow me to overclock my GPU. Every time I try, it goes back to 444 MHz, which is the default core bus speed for the graphics. Now, on my CPU, I can overclock it to 2.25. Turn that down to 2.25 gigahertz. But with others, you could overclock higher depending on your CPU. Now, the way overclocking works on the NVIDIA control panel, or Entune, if you've installed Entune. If you want to install Entune, then I recommend you just Google Entune and install it if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. I'm not sure if there's a different one for ATI. Perhaps there is one for ATI, a control panel that allows you to overclock. I'm not sure. Perhaps you can Google that. Basically, the way the CPU overclock works in Entune is you have a Whoa, no, I do not want to do that. You have a CPU multiplier, and mine is a permanent set 9.0. So basically this means it times is 200 by 9, and 200 by 9 is 1800. And basically, if I push this up, you can see this reference clock. This is just a reference to the CPU. This is a reference to the multiplier. This times that equals the CPU core frequency, and that's to each core, depending on if you're single core, dual core, or quad core. So if I rank mine all the way up to 250 megahertz on the reference clock, times that by 9, and it should go to 2250. And even though you shouldn't do this, normally it's not a problem as long as your room is aerated and the space around your laptop is aerated. Now, it won't allow me to save it down here because I've already overclocked to 250 megahertz times 9, 2250 megahertz, and that's to overclock your CPU. Now, to do this, obviously, to overclock your graphics card, you're obviously going to want to do it if you are heavy video software with rendering capabilities that are pretty crap at the moment with your speeds on your graphics card, or perhaps even gaming if you've got crap frame rate. Then I'd recommend downloading Power Strip. Now, you can Google Power Strip, which I'll do for you now, and I'll also put a link in the description. Power Strip. So once you've Googled Power Strip, it's going to lag here because I'm recording as well, and I'm not really overclocked my graphics card at the moment. You can download Power Strip 3.75 from guru3d.com. Now, opening Power Strip. Once you've installed Power Strip, open Power Strip. Basically, it should pop up here. And now, normally it would come up with a screen saying, set these defaults, or this is, displaying the information. Now, my default engine clock is 444 megahertz. Like I said, I think I said that. which is the default memory speed. God, I hope I'm not repeating myself, but anyway, just ignore me. Now, it's recommended you only bump this up by a little bit, apply it each time, bump it up again, keep applying it, and wait till you feel your computer's getting faster, you keep testing it. But what I do is I bump it right to the top and click apply. In some cases, if you do this straight away, you're going to get crashes. There's about a 70% success rate in this. Now, just because it crashes once, and perhaps you need to restart your computer, it might get annoying. But sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I'm just going to say, never leave your PC overclocked through software. If you've done it in BIOS, fine. Just never overclock it too much, because if you're running overclocked forever, your laptop's going to eventually burn out if you've got it at a high speed. I mean, mine's doubled now. It's gone from 444 megahertz to 892. And the way you can monitor the temperature is by, when you download Entune for NVIDIA graphics cards, you could open up the NVIDIA monitor and go down, and you can see my GPU is 75 degrees at the moment. You can also see the CPU core speed is 2.25 gigahertz, and you can also see the 3D memory of my GPU core is 100 megahertz. Now, I'm going to show you that, because you think I've just overclocked it to 800 megahertz, right? Well, no, because here in the advanced memory timing tab, you've got two parts to your graphics card, should I say. You have the standard 2D, which for some reason is actually my 3D, but it seems to have named it 2D. You could bump this up to 210, which is my limit. I'm not sure what your limit is. I could press apply. Now don't forget to bump them up on both of them, so 2D and 3D. Mine are the other way around, so don't get confused. And then click apply on each one. You can also save the profile, so when you next open it, you can just select that profile without bumping it up and pressing apply. You just select the profile and press apply. But what I'm going to show you now is a trick of how to get past the limit of your overclock, basically, which means it allows you to overclock way more than your graphics card. Now the way we do this is just leave it like that, accept it, and we're going to trick it now. We're going to go into the options of the software. We're going to do that by going in the shortcut, well, not shortcut, I'm not sure what it's called anymore. It's been called that many different things. We're going to right click it, and then we're going to go to preferences. We're going to go to quick setup. Now you see here where it says your adapter defaults. It basically says the display size and the clock default speed. At the side, we're going to click rescan. Now only do this after you've applied an overclock to the full limit. Rescan, it'll tell you that it's going to rescan your system. You press OK. Now here it's going to say it's not applicable. You press OK, and then press OK again. Now what we're going to do is right click it again, right click power strip, configure. Now it'll tell you this, it'll tell you the default clocks recorded for this display driver deviate abnormally from the current clocks, meaning that it's going to change now your default clock speed. Now this is obviously not supposed to happen, but you can now tell that at the bottom here I can move this all the way up to 2.5 gigahertz. From 800 megahertz, I've just moved mine to 2.5 gigahertz, and that's on a 2D graphics. I can click apply, select yes, and now I'm not sure if I can show you. In fact, I won't be able to show you on the 2D, but I'll be able to show you on the 3D in a minute. Oh, I did not want to open control panel. Close that. God, I can't imagine how much this is lagging right now. The NVIDIA monitor, we're going to open that up. And we can see here now that the GPU Core 3D is 210 megahertz. Before it was 100, I overclocked it to 210. This is in the 3D. Remember, this is the other way around. It's 210. Now it's allowed me to boost this up even higher. to 441 megahertz. Click apply, yes, as you can tell here now, the GPU core 3D is now 441 megahertz. That's almost half a gigahertz now. Now, it's going to take a lot of experimenting with you to do this, to see where the peak is that you can have it. Now, I found out that the peak is basically around 500 megahertz for the 3D graphics. Do what you do again, configure it. Now you see that I only have to right click that without changing the default clock. Like I did before, I only have to right click and say adjust again. I'm going to bump it up to 477 just to be safe, because I don't really want to go more higher than my limit. Now you see how I just basically, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it again. No, it's not going to do it again. But to keep testing your graphics card limit, keep going to option, preferences, quick setup, and keep rescanning your clocks. And if you're noticing that in the power strip settings, if you're noticing that it's not moving up anymore, even when this displays, if you're noticing that it's not moving up anymore, it's not going to allow you to move up, then you know you've reached your peak. Now I could overclock this all the way to 1 gigahertz. I'm not going to do that because my computer will freeze and probably display a blue screen of death, which you have to find that out for yourself. Remember, it's a 70% success rate. So just because you crash for the first time, don't give up. Just keep moving lower until you find the limit where you're not crashing. Now you can see now my GPU core is overclocked to 475 megahertz. The CPU is overclocked to 2.5, well, to 2.25 gigahertz, and also my 2D speed is 2.5 gigahertz. Now with this, your gaming should, your gaming should pretty much multiply many times in performance. I'm not going to test that because I'm already lagging with the screen recording, but that, guys, is how you trick power strip. Now I'm sorry it's been a quite long video because hey, you got a lot to explain and I'm talkative anyway. But normally I don't do videos like this because I've not done them for ages, but hey, that's how you do it. Make sure you subscribe. Perhaps there might be more videos in the future. I'm trying to do all sorts of different stuff on YouTube now. If you have any problems with overclocking your graphics card or your CPU, just mail me on YouTube and I will probably reply instantly, seeing as I'm on YouTube every day. And I will see you guys later.